about the Fed. So, everybody's wondering if they're going to, once again, in the news conference, we've run up this is the fourth time we run up in front of a Fed, and they keep knocking us down. So we'll have to see if that's going to be true. But what might we be looking for? I think we might want to look into the Fed's statement, because we want to see, are they going to signal some sort of pause? That's what we all know. It's going to be 25 basis points, but will they signal the pause? And how would they do that? They would probably do it in the statement, specifically the third paragraph. So I'm just going to tell you what to look for there. So the third paragraph will be where the Fed addresses its forward guidance, right? They tell us what they're planning to do next. So the following sentence could be key. The committee anticipates that ongoing increases in the target rate will be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restricted to return inflation to the 2% rate over time. Now, if the Fed makes no change to that sentence, it will be taken as hawkish, because the Fed is telling the market that the rates aren't high enough. How might they change that statement to telegraph maybe that they're not quite as hawkish? If it's something like this: the committee anticipates that ongoing increase in the target range should or will likely be appropriate in order to. So they just change that wording a little bit. I think that is what the market is looking for. So look for that third statement. Third paragraph. What's expected? 25 basis point hike and a change to forward guidance where they're getting a little bit, maybe changing that statement. You probably get a little bit of a rally if that happens. What would be considered dovish if it's a 25 basis point hike and they change the statement and he doesn't really push back in the press conference?
Right.
It's going to be hawkish if it's a 50 basis point rate hike. They're not expecting that. No change to the forward guidance. We don't want to see that. And a very hawkish, press conference. So that's what I'm hearing. You hearing anything else?
No, well, one thing that I would add here is that I was taking a look at December's dot plot again this morning, and just comparing this to where the Fed's target rate is likely to go tomorrow. So right now we're at 4.25 to 4.5. That target rate, by general consensus, very high probability, is going to be moving to 4.5 to 4.75. Another way that we might look at that is the midpoint of that target rate is about 4 and 5/8. Now, if we look at the Fed's dot plot projections from December 2022, the most recent dot plot provided, the terminal rate is projected up at about 5 1/8. That's a 0.5 percentage point higher than tomorrow's sort of target rate. So that's for the year of 2023. However they achieve that, it might be interestingly, obviously, to see what that language is that you've mentioned. Is that going to hint toward a lower potential terminal rate? And that might only leave a 0.25 percentage point or less for all of 2023. And then we might start moving toward the lower levels that the Fed is already projecting on their dot plot. 4% for 2024, 3% for 2025, 2.5% for the long term. That, I think, is something to keep an eye on. We're not going to get that new dot plot report till March, though. But yeah, in the meantime, keep an eye on the language that Lee mentioned.
Right. All right.